I want to go over how to build a French drain that's maintenance free, where the pipe never ever gets any debris in it. Literally for the life of the French drain. And we're talking about a French drain that'll last forever, because the way we build them, a big channel of stone is not going to go anywhere over time. So we excavate using a backhoe or excavator, and we take all the dirt out. We don't put any of that dirt back in. That's one of the biggest keys to a good French drain. You want to bring the stone right to the surface. You can see that there's no pile of dirt to the left or the right. It's just a nice clean. We really ditch out a nice channel for our French drains. They all vary in size because they're spec'd for however much water they have to move and handle. This one wasn't machine accessible. It was all done by hand. Alright, there's our 8 slot staggered. I'm sorry, that's not staggered. It's 8 slots all the way around in each valley. Okay, so after you ditch out your channel for your French drain, you want to take a felt. It's not a plastic. A lot of people call me and they ask, what is that plastic in your drains? That's not a plastic, that's a felt. It's a non-woven geotextile filter fabric. It separates the soil from the stone, so they can never mix. Now, right here is a failed French drain system. This was put in without the geotextile non-woven fabric, and also the pipe wasn't put at the bottom. Here in Michigan, the frost will actually lift that pipe. So the pipe came to the surface, the gravel all mixed in with the clay over time, and it just quit. It failed. So they had to have this done a second time, which it's unfortunate, because if it would have been done right. Okay, so there's a nice shot. You can see all the aggregate all the way to the top. And we're gonna wrap this, and it's impossible for bark, grass blades, dust, dirt, leaves to get into the system. It's impossible. Now, the whole length of our system is an inlet. It's just taking in the water. And I'll explain what I mean. You'll see a lot of guys using inlets every 8 feet is usually what they do. That's it. You're limited to just that area to take in the water. Where our system actually takes in the water the entire length. Here's a great shot. All this stone, the water will just run right through this filter cloth, through the stone. This whole thing, this entire length, the whole length of the French drain is just taking in water. Then you lay the sod on top. This will work fine. If you have sprinklers, it's not an issue. Here in Michigan, where we are located, July and August, your grass will dry out on top of our French drain systems. I mean, that's their job, you know, is to pull moisture from the subsoil as well. You do have to water. When people don't have sprinklers, a lot of times we'll do like a landscape treatment of a dry creek bed so that it's decorative and they have the drainage they need. Again, notice this is all stone underneath the filter fabric, and then you go, you know, right into the stone. This is kind of a good anatomy shot. You can see the pipe, then you can see the stone, and you can see how we burrito wrap it. The entire system, the entire length of this system is taking in water. You can't move water faster than that. And you have 100% coverage down the line of your French drain system. And you never have to clean the pipe. The pipe and the stone are wrapped, so there's never going to be debris. No leaves, no bark, no grass blades, no dust and dirt. These fill up with dirt, bark, grass blades. Over time, there's so much organic material that goes through these inlets, and they end up clogging the pipe. Slows the drain down. The French drain will get slower over time until one day it won't work anymore at all. So that's the problem with inlets. That's why I'm always preaching, never put an inlet in your French drain system, and don't let any other contractor tell you otherwise. Armed with this knowledge that I'm giving you in this video, you now can tell them, look, I want the aggregate coming to the surface. I want a French drain that's going to take in the water all the way across the yard. Here's another issue with the inlets. You got to keep the grass cut out. The grass grows right over them real quick. So you got to be vigilant. You know, these are things you just never hear guys talking about. But our systems aren't built with inlets. This sod will go right back over this system. All the dirt's been hauled away. We're not putting the dirt back on. We just took the sod off with 2.5 inches of root. It'll grow over the French drain, no problem. So this is a maintenance-free French drain system. This is the correct way to build a maintenance-free French drain system that doesn't need to be cleaned. Wanted to show you guys a French drain at work. You always see us building French drains, but I don't show enough footage, don't do enough video of actually working French drains. So I'm in Washington Township, Michigan. I'm in Glacier Club. Beautiful, beautiful community. Golf course community. This gentleman gets all the rain off the golf course. Now it's down to a drizzle. And still, because of the pathway and the elevation, look at the moving water that's just coming. And this is a drizzle, so you should see this when the rain's really picked up. It's pretty amazing. So, you know, over time, this groove has been etched. There's nothing you can do. The water's coming in here. You're not going to beat that. What you want to do is you want to build a system. So what we did is we put a French drain system right along here. That's the low point. And it's picking up all this water. It's pouring in, and the drain's taking it in. You know, notice how you don't see the water running on the surface and going into the storm drain. Now, I don't have any inlet basins. I preach against no inlet basins. The way I build my systems, you don't need an inlet basin. So here we are. We're down to a drizzle. We're down to a drizzle. This thing looks like a fire hose when we have a really, really good, even moderate rain, let alone a downpour. But look at that on just a drizzle. Look at the water we're moving. It's just fantastic. And again, no surface water. This water is not running across the surface to find its way into this storm drain catch basin. This is why we go through the sidewall of a storm drain catch basin right here. And the bottom of this trench is going to be empty. When this rain event is over, the French drain system will completely empty out right to the bottom, so it won't freeze in the winter. It'll stay functional. How a French drain works. I just wanted to go over how a French drain works. We remove 14 inches by 14 inches of the existing soil. We cut the sod off first, and we always cut it really thick so that we take 2.5 inches of root with that grass, so it'll grow over the system. We go ahead and fill that 14 by 14 with a coarse wash rock. And yes, there is a pipe in that. We go ahead and we pin this back. Now, this is a fully contained French drain system, so it doesn't need maintenance. It'll never need to be cleaned. The pipe can never end up plugged full of debris because we have this filter wrap. This is not plastic. This is a filter wrap. It separates, it's a soil separator, so it keeps the stone separate from the soil. You don't want your stone to migrate into the subsoil and the subsoil to migrate into the stone. Now, this French drain is going to take in all the water, and it's discharged right here at a culvert. Now you got to maintain your culverts. This culvert was half full of mud, so we went ahead and cleared it. All we have to do is put the sod back over the system and it's complete. I thought this would be a good anatomy shot to show you. We're catching all the water that comes down the hill. We have all the water that's coming off of the neighbor's house, the neighbor's outdoor living space, into this swale. Actually, the neighbors caused part of the problems here of drainage because they planted a tree in the swale. We went ahead and we're helping to evacuate the water quickly. Got the French drain coming across to catch all that water that's coming down this slope before it saturates the yard and ends up leaving this play area saturated with standing water, and the kids can't come out and use it. Okay, we're at the location where the French drain terminates. You can see that all the stone has been encased with a filter fabric, a heavy 8-ounce commercial rated filter fabric. You want a 6-foot roll of fabric. That way you can go down both sides of the trench, across the bottom, and fold over top of the stone. This prevents any contaminants to get into the system. This is a fully contained French drain system. This system will not require maintenance of any kind. Now, downspouts. How do you handle downspouts? You want to take solid pipe and you want to go to a pop-up. You do not want to tie into the main. You just want to put that on top of your French drain. You want to put plenty of fabric around that pop-up, and then the grass goes around that. Now, shingle, gravel, leaves, or debris end up coming off the roof, out of the pop-up. They're basically just going to end up in the grass, opposed to your French drain pipe. This is going to avoid maintenance, the system not being able to move as much water. You can see just how much stone we put in our French drains. The stone is the key. The more stone, the better the French drain. The more volume of water you can move, the more efficient the French drain is. For all your yard water solutions, give us a call.